Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the FPL Affairs podcast, the podcast that strips back and lays bare our 9-month-long love affair with FPL. In this video, we unwrap and analyse our team selections from game week 3, their impact on our ranks, and reveal the admin winners of the good, the bad, and, well, the ugly awards for the week. Before we get started, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel for all of our content, and if you click that bell, you'll get notifications each time we release something new. Anyway, enough of my small talk, let's get cracking.
And there's Mo Salah. There goes Haaland. He's on his way again. He's hungry. He's scored. Ice cold precision from Palmer. Oh, Saka! That is a diamond of a goal.
Greetings, viewers, from me, Matt, aka the FPL Affairs Magpie, and for our game week 3 Unwrapped, I am joined once again by the boss man, FPL Affairs Lion Lewis. How are you, mate?
Yeah, really good, thank you. Another bad game week, but we move.
Well, I'm glad that you're really good despite having a bad game week, so that's good for mental health for
Exactly.
sure.
Yes. Yes.
And as much as it's been a monumental day, we're recording this Monday evening after transfer deadline day has closed. We're not going to talk about that today. We felt with the international break, we'll just record that as a whole entire separate video conversation with whichever people have got the brain power or hair left that hasn't been pulled out from Gay's move falling through at the
Yes.
last minute. Not naming anyone. But anyway, I'm going off to point. Shall we
Yeah.
get looking at those teams?
Let's get cracking.
Yeah, we will. Do you want to painfully talk us through your one this week?
Yeah, so for the third week in a row, double Nottingham Forest defence has not come up trumps. Watched the game and yeah, very much as you expect, Forest were in control. Didn't really look like conceding at all until about what was the goal, 78, 79 minutes. But
Mm,
Jared Bowen on the half turn, he's always a threat, isn't he? He's
mm,
just one of them players. He can be quiet, he can look like he's non-existent, and he just pops up and just a really instinctive goal for him to hit that on the turn like that. And just to be honest, as soon as Bowen scored that goal, I switched the game off, thinking, well,
mm,
clean sheet's done. And then checked the score again in 10 minutes, and it was 3-0. I was like, what the hell's happened here? Um,
mm,
which yeah, so that was crazy. And then just to rub salt in the wounds, Anderson for the third week running
mm.
hits 11 DEFCONs. He was actually on something like 8 or 9 at half time, so he was looking an absolute shoe-in for that.
He was.
No, yeah, no idea how he didn't get up to 12 again, but yeah.
I was. I was watching it as well, and I kept sort of I had it on my mobile, and I kept
Hmm.
flittering and minimizing that slightly, so I still had it on screen whilst looking
Yeah.
at the um, FPL website and thinking, right, what's the DEFCON tally? And
Mm.
there was a point, like you said, he looked nailed on for it, and then he was
Hmm.
also at one point had 3 bonus points. He obviously had the
Yeah.
clean sheet,
Yeah.
so
Oh, mate, I was looking sweet I think at 76 minutes. I had Nico Williams on max bonus. Anderson was on like 2 bonus. Sells was looking cruising for a clean sheet, but that's always the way. And if you
mm,
double up or triple up, it just takes that one goal. So
yeah,
I knew the risks. The annoying thing is actually for me that at the beginning of the season, I was really 50-50 on Sells or Sanchez. Well, Sanchez was in my draft all the way right until the Levi Colwill injury.
yeah,
When we got the Colwill injury news, I was like, who are Chelsea going to play centre back? And I just couldn't. I felt less confident once the Colwill news came in. I thought, to be honest with you, Forest will probably get as many clean sheets as Chelsea. if not more. So I made a
Mm.
very late switch from Sanchez to Sales. And Williams was always in my team, so I won't dispute that. But it was a late call to switch from Sanchez to Sales, and Sanchez has ended up with two fluky clean sheets, and Sales has had none. So yeah,
Mm.
disappointing.
You want to talk through the rest of your team? So you've got
Yeah, of
Sells
course.
and Williams.
Yeah, double Spurs defense that was done in about 4 minutes, so that was lovely. Saliba, very disappointed about that because you can't see my bench here, but I chose to bench eight Nori over Saliba, and I thought, they'll probably concede at Brighton. Arsenal, even though Liverpool away is a very tough game, Arsenal defense is just so solid. And I actually thought he'd be good for Defcons in this game. I think 5 minutes in, he'd already racked up three Defcon Saliba, and I was thinking, right, he's looking, especially if we've got a clean sheet. But yeah, he pulls up with a hammy 6 or 7 minutes in, or whatever it was. I was like, oh, here we go. Um, so that was unfortunate. Anderson we've been through. Gakpo was quiet, but being an Arsenal fan, I didn't really care. I was quite happy with 3 points. Johnson, so he was my transfer in this week. Palmer out with the injury news. I was considering Morgan Rogers, Sarr from Spurs, or Johnson from Spurs, and they all blanked. So no real loss there for me. The only headache is, do I keep Johnson going forward? Because it now looks like he might not necessarily be a first choice there. Have you got any opinions on that? Or
Well, because they signed Xavi Simons, didn't they?
yeah,
He's come through. Price has been announced at 7.0,
which is interesting. Yeah, he could be
and
good value. They
they
signed
also they
Milani
also
today.
today they also today
Yeah,
I think signed Mwani on loan
yeah,
from PSG, but I
Juventus.
can't
Oh,
remember from
yeah,
the Club World Cup where he plays.
yeah. So I think predominantly he's a striker, but like most strikers these days, they play off the front. Anywhere off the front, really, left, right, or so.
Mm.
Hopefully for me, he's not come in instead of Johnson, but there's now quite a bit of competition on that left side with Odegaard there as well. So I might have made a mistake with that Johnson transfer, but I'll have to wait and see. Um, Luckily enough, I'm free hitting game week 4, so I can actually see whether Johnson gets dropped for the West Ham game because he won't be in my free hit. So I'll have to wait and see. Um, Rice he was really good in the Liverpool game, very dominant in the midfield, got his defcons. Corners weren't quite up to scratch, but he was busy enough. So I would have taken 4 points from Rice. Watkins, triple blank in a row. Although I'm not going to sell him. There's no point selling him, not with his fixtures coming up. And
Mm.
the big man captain, who by all accounts could have had a hat trick from what I heard, but you take the goal and three bonus and move on.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So yeah, 39 all out, not great, but no hits, no chips used. Hoping to gain some rank back in the next few weeks with free hit and stuff.
Yeah, that's moving it on to your
Okay.
live
Yeah.
FPL data stuff.
Yeah.
So you're 10 points off your safety score, which anyone listening,
Hmm.
if you're not sure what the safety score is, it's basically how many points you need to get to remain at the
Not
rank
get a red.
you're
Yeah.
at.
Yeah.
Um, well, positive side, there's only 3 points on the bench, so
Yeah.
you sort of
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
want zero for eight Nori and zero for Potts.
Yeah.
Um,
So they were good calls, but made no difference in the end anyway. But as I say, this is all part of a
mm,
longer term plan. So I'm doing free hit next week and triple captain Haaland game week 6. So hopefully by the end of game week 6, I would have shot up a bit, but we'll see.
how how's the impact of this week affected your rank?
Uh, Down from 3.3 million to 4.9 million. So, but yeah, very fine margins at this point.
Mm, they are, they are.
How'd you get? How'd you get on, mate?
Well, before I put it on the screen,
Hmm.
there were going into the week. So I had two free transfers,
Yep.
which was quite boringly popular one of Palmer out plus also Fulkrug out,
Hmm.
and it was very much who I was going to get in, and I decided who I was going to get in most
Yep.
is the Palmer replacement, and I was 50-50 with who I was going to play up front. Not
Okay.
play up front, transfer in up front.
Yeah.
And it was very much if I my two options were option A, I'd bring in transfer uh particular option. I won't say which one I went with,
Okay.
but it was I'd bring in a particular forward in place of
Yeah.
Fulkrug, and if I brought that forward in, I'd captain Bruno. The
Okay.
alternative was if I brought in, say, striker B, the second option, I'd bring that
Yeah.
striker in and I'd captain that striker.
Okay.
So that was my kind of two, actually thinking about it. It'll probably be easier once I actually get the team on screen. It'll probably be easier to make sense of.
Go on then.
Right. So on the
Oh
screen,
no.
I've put my team up, 44
Yeah.
points all out. Sanchez clean sheet in goal, six
Yep.
points. Back three
That was
of
lucky.
Murillo, Anderson of Fulham, who got DEFCON, Pedro
Yeah.
Porro of Spurs, who got DEFCON. And that was actually quite
Hmm.
funny because he was on 9 when the game finished, but then the game was reviewed and he was actually awarded 3 more DEFCON, so he got the 2 bonus points.
Yeah, it's funny how that works, isn't it? I presume it's Opta, isn't it, that they use for their stats. So
Mm,
'cause it's not FPL's own. They just go off Opta. So I presume
mm.
Opta watch the game live and they probably tally them up as the game's going on. But then I presume, like you said, they review it or whatever, and sometimes they might find one or two extras
I
if
I
that's
was
if it's.
I was praying for that after the Forest game. I was like, please
Mm,
have the same happen to Anderson like Porro had.
yeah,
Let it be like
yeah,
retrospective one where it's just they just find like one extra tackle or one
yeah,
extra interception
yeah.
and he'll get the 2 bonus. Um,
But not with
not
Anderson.
to,
But yeah, Porro,
not to be.
4 points for Porro was okay.
Yeah, three 3 points for Salah, 2 for Reinders, 10 for Bruno, 2 for Anderson, 7 for Sarr, um, 4 for Wood, and 2 for Watkins. So what I was trying to
I know exactly
mystically,
what you mean. So you because you brought in Wood, you had to captain him, whereas if you brought in the other striker,
basically,
you would have left captain
what
on
I
Bruno. Yeah,
decided, and I was still weighing this up Saturday morning,
yeah.
was I could get in João Pedro and captain Bruno
Mm,
because I
mm.
thought I'd rather captain Bruno than one is midfielder, possible more of a return, and Fulham have been
And
quite tight.
a better fixture on paper.
Yeah, and so that's why I would have captained
Mm,
Bruno,
mm.
or it was bringing Chris Wood and captain Wood rather than Bruno. As you can see from my team, I went with the latter option.
So that's turned
Um,
out on about a 17-point swing roughly, then, hasn't it? Because you would have,
yeah, 15. So what I would have, if I would have brought in João Pedro, I would have captained
yeah,
Bruno, so 20 points for him, plus the
yeah.
9 that João Pedro got. So that would have been 29 points.
No,
And
but
what
yeah, but
I've
obviously
got is
you
14.
captained. Yeah, but you still get so you only lost out on 10 extra for Bruno really because you still get 10 of his original points.
Yeah.
So you
So,
you lost that,
but,
yeah,
but
10 on Bruno, and then
the
whatever the difference
difference,
between Wood. Okay, yeah,
yeah, the difference was 15 points.
yeah, that makes
Um,
sense. Yeah.
the second option was a benching option, and it was between, I was always starting Porro, always starting Murillo,
Mm,
and um, my other 3 defenders, Anderson,
yeah.
Estev, and Chris Richards. And as you
Oh
can
no,
see
you
from
had.
my team,
Oh no.
I went with Anderson, who got DEFCON, but no clean sheet, losing a point for conceding two, and
Yeah.
Chris Richards, who has not been getting DEFCON so far, completely smashed it out of the park and was the most DEFCON, I think, out of all of the players on the pitch. I
Oh.
think got 12 or 13 and a clean sheet. So
What what did he finish on points wise?
he finished on 8. So that's
Okay.
again that 50-50 decision on which defender to start over bench, and it was straight between those two. That was a 5 point swing. So those
Yeah.
two
It's one of
fine
them
decisions,
harsh weeks where
those
every single
two
fifty
fine
fifty has gone
decisions
against you.
cost me 20 points.
Yeah, it's one of them harsh weeks where every fifty
Mm,
fifty has gone against you. If it makes you feel any better, um I would have benched Richards as well with that fixture. Villa away, it's not very. You'd think after their first two games they would have gone all out, and
mm.
yeah, I was very surprised that Palace even kept a clean sheet. So
Yeah,
you can't be too harsh
I,
on yourself for that.
I thought all four clubs would score. I thought the
Yeah,
Villa Palace I thought would be a low scoring one because both are usually quite tight defensively.
yeah,
Um, and Anderson, I just thought against Chelsea
mm,
with the DEFCON thing, generally, if you're going to be a team that's doing more of the defending, you're going to rack up
yeah,
those more
yeah.
easily. So I thought, yes, Anderson is unlikely to get the clean sheet, but DEFCON's pretty much nailed.
Probably nailed. Yeah,
So I said, ideally, Chelsea win by a 1 goal margin, say 1-0, and then I've got Sanchez
yeah,
clean sheet and Anderson appearance and
for four
DEFCON.
points. Yeah,
So I was only
and
one point.
also as an Ollie Watkins owner as well, it made sense to bench Richards because it's sort of suboptimal, isn't it? Having a
Mm.
oh, it's not the end of the world, but if you've got a striker for one tip, in your
That was
starting 11,
that was again another reason why I went with
mm,
over João Pedro because it meant as I didn't have a West Ham defender, I had
yeah,
Chris Wood not going up, and by not getting in João Pedro, I didn't have a Chelsea attacker going up against a Fulham defender.
Anderson, yeah, yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it's a frustrating 20 point swing, but
Mm,
what what's reassuring or going through my mind is I'm thinking, well, the decisions I made, I still think they're valid reasons behind why I made the decisions I made.
yeah, it's just the
Those are
outcomes
still
that.
valid,
Mm,
and it was just unfortunate that this time around, coupled with the first couple of weeks,
yeah,
those sort of 50-50 calls have not gone my way.
on your, yeah,
Um,
yeah, 100%. How are you feeling about Reinders in there? Did he get a good XG or XGI in this game?
I'm
Was
not
he?
sure. I haven't looked at the
No,
stats
I don't know if
for
you
it.
watched the game or I saw a tweet about 5 minutes before kickoff to say Reinders is starting in the 10
Yeah,
because
because
of no
I
Phil
saw that
Foden,
as well.
which is obviously what you want to hear as an owner. But
Mm.
yeah, second blank in a row after obviously a good start. But I mean, there's no reason to sell, I wouldn't think. But
Yeah, not necessarily a rush, although when you're getting, well, we'll go
well, I
into
think
that in the talking points episode, really. Otherwise, we'll get
yeah,
sidetracked. So the impact on my
yeah, okay,
rank, really, 44 points, 2 points short of my safety score, 11 on the bench, um, which is Dubravka's 2, 1 from Estev, and the 8 from Richards. My old rank was 7.0 million. My new
hmm.
rank is 7.0 million. So I've dropped literally by 53k, which is a 0.76%. So I pretty much stayed
So you were
where I am pretty much. Um, and yeah, so that's and the safety score actually changed by 1 when I first looked after the games had all finished. The safety score was 45. And then when I
okay.
took these screenshots today,
You went up.
The safety score had increased to 46. So
Hmm.
that confused me. And I've got another point or confusion about safety score, which I'll go on and make more sense when we actually look at Weasel's
Okay.
teams. So if we skip on to Weasel, since we looked at his choices, um, the
Well, I can
second
see a
get,
green. I can see a green arrow, so that's a positive.
yeah. He also, like myself, got 44 points. Same with
Mm.
Sanchez in goal. Same with Porro. We both had a Forest defender. He went with right. His third defender was Ronaldo of Sunderland, which got 1 pointer. He was feeling especially hard done by with
Yeah, he had
his
Josh King. Yeah, that's
yeah
guttering.
Josh King of Fulham and that VAR admitted
Yeah,
post-match error.
it was
Um,
weird because I was watching that live, and Fulham went on the counter attack, and it was like a really good flick from Meniz. They raced through, and I thought he still had quite a lot to do when he got into the box, and he
mm,
he stood he sat the defender down, gave the keeper the eyes, put it in, and I not 1 minute during that goal was I thinking, oh, there could be a an offside, like just nothing at all, and then he goes off celebrating. I was obviously happy as a non-Chelsea defensive owner, and then they're like, oh, they're checking something on the halfway line. I was thinking, what the hell could that be? And then yeah, it was just a farce really because Muniz had the ball. The referee claimed it as a reckless tackle, but it's not. It wasn't a tackle. He had the ball. It was just a coming after he turned. It was like a coming together with I think it was Chalobah, where he kind of landed on him. But it was such a nothing, such a non-event in terms of what happened with the goal. It was for VAR to intervene, send the ref to the monitor, and then put a slow-mo up of what looked like a foul that had nothing to do with it. Was just yeah,
it
that was a
was
harsh
like
one to take.
he
Mm,
had Muniz had possession, and it was one of
yeah.
those neat bits of footwork where a player controls the ball with their
Hmm.
foot on top of it,
Yeah.
then plants that foot down and
Yeah.
rolls the ball backwards with the opposite foot
Yeah.
to do the sort of 180-degree
Spin.
turn. And he
Yeah.
did that, the
Yeah.
entire movement
Yeah.
perfectly fine, justifiable.
Executed. Yeah.
It was then
Yeah.
just the Chelsea defender sort of slid in or
Yeah.
went to tackle when his foot went underneath
Yeah. Where
where
Muniz was
Muniz
landing.
was
Yeah.
planting his foot.
Yeah. And
And
and Chalobah was quite clever because he obviously grabbed his leg and I think obviously if Fulham hadn't have gone and scored, I don't think Chalobah would have been rolling around grabbing his leg. But
mm,
if you go to get up and see the other team has scored, it makes every sense to keep holding your leg. But either way, the ref and the VR should have been stronger on that. And you saw 24 hours later, they immediately admitted it was an error and pulled the guy off VAR who was supposed to be doing it for Liverpool. So
yeah,
yeah,
so
I think
Paul
Paul
was
can feel very disappointed because he would be a big differential to score as well. It's not like if that was Fernandez who scored, then a lot of people
yeah.
would have lost those points. But as a King owner,
Mm.
he's lost out quite badly there.
Yeah. So Paul's also got Anderson like us.
Hmm.
He's got Verts as his Liverpool midfielder, so 3 points, same as Salah.
Yeah.
10 points Fernandez, vice captain, same as me.
Hmm.
Watkins up front, same as me. Wood captain, same as me. Then
He
he's
did have
got
Bowen.
Jarrod Bowen's 9 pointer. So, which is kind of, as I said, we both finished with 44, and whereas he got Bowen's nine, that equates to the seven I got for Saar and the extra two I got in defence. Not that
Yeah.
that makes a huge amount of difference or necessity anyway.
Did he have any
And
points on the bench? Did he have any points on the bench, or was that?
I can't remember. We shall see. Four. So um,
Mm.
yeah, this is where so Paul got a green arrow despite finishing on the same points as me.
Mm.
He got 42 points, then 2 points off the bench to finish on 44. His safety score is 44. And he's got total of 136, which again is the same as me, exactly the same as
Mm.
me. 4 points on the bench. So what I don't get about that is we started the game week on the same amount of points at the same
Yeah.
rank, and we got the same number of points in the game week, and so we our totals are still the same. Yet his
Mm.
safety score was 2 points lower than mine. That I really don't get. But
Is
either
it is it to do with what players you own in terms of their ownership and stuff like that? Or I suppose that can't really affect it, can it?
possibly,
Mm.
possibly, or it may have
Or
or
if
it
you
may have
did you say
something to do that. It may have something to do with the fact that he got points off the bench. Maybe that makes a
did you
difference.
say you had the same rank going into the game week, or was he slightly behind you?
Um, same points total at the start of the
Okay.
week,
Yeah, so
and same
yes.
points total during the week. So therefore, the same points total at the end of the
Yeah, yeah.
week.
Yeah, so
Um,
that is a
so
bit
he
odd, isn't
got a
it? It's not a
marginal.
massive difference, but yeah, you'd expect it to be exactly the
Yeah,
same,
it
wouldn't
was just like that just confused me as to right, okay, how his
you? Mm.
safety score is different, but it'll I think you're right, it'll have something to do with personnel. Um, anyway, that's our teams for this week.
Yeah.
The good, the bad, and the ugly, and I skipped the slide
Mm.
too soon. So we can see that the good this week goes to the FPL Affairs Rooster, Mr. Dave Paxton.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is the transfer he made. He
Did he bring
took,
in Saar?
no, I've
No.
forgotten now
Mm.
who he actually took out. I don't
Okay.
think it was Palmer. He might have taken out Verts and he brought in
Okay.
Jack Grealish, who for the second game
Oh, he brought in
running,
Grealish.
got a double assist.
Nice. I'm pretty sure that he sold Palmer, if I remember right. I think he moved quite early on the Palmer sale.
Mm.
Um, but
Either
yeah,
way, it was a good.
I
Either
didn't know
way,
he
it was a
brought
good
I didn't
shout.
know he brought Grealish in, so that was a brave pick as well, if considering they were playing away and stuff. So
Yeah, so that's so applauding Dave for a good differential shout of who to bring in.
yeah.
The bad I actually struggled with this week because looking at people's transfers, none of the
Mm.
transfers in the admin team seem to be in the admin group seem to be
Mm.
bad or risque decisions because a large bulk, if they had Palmer, everyone sold Palmer.
Yeah, who was injured, so
Or it was someone that was injured that were bringing someone in.
mm.
So no one brought in a player and was worse off for it.
Yeah.
So in the end, I had to default to the person with the lowest points of the game week, and that was FPL Affairs cow, Mr. Jack Ashbury. Unfortunately, this week,
He got
guess
less
the
than me.
bad. He got 26.
Jesus.
Yeah,
What happened there?
painstaking. Um, I think literally
Did
none of his players returned.
did he make a bad transfer, or did he just have a bad week
No, the
in general?
transfer was okay. It
Right.
was just a bad week filled with blanks.
Yeah, he had Wood captain like you, Gyökeres 1 pointer, Kudus blank, Arias from Wolves blank, his whole back four blanked, and his keeper blanked. So yeah, a bad week for Ashbury.
Yeah. And the ugly
Yeah.
decision, um, I chose this person quite quickly at the end of the game week.
Okay.
Um, and then looked at decided to go, right, okay, I'll have a look at other decisions people had made because some were saying, oh, it should be me because I made this choice, and had I made this choice, I would have been points better off, whether that in relation to captaincy or who they benched.
Yeah.
Um, Dave was upset because he benched Paqueta for the second week running, and
No.
he's had Paqueta. He played him in the first game. West Ham lost 3-0, and he's
Mm.
benched him in game weeks 2 and 3. And
He scored in both.
Paqueta's scored in both, and he got
Mm.
DEFCON against
Mm.
Forest as
He's
well.
actually he's actually looking like a really good pick going forwards now that he's stayed at West Ham.
Mm,
Because if he'd have gone to Villa, he would have been one of six attacking midfielders. But because he stayed at West Ham, he is now 90 minutes nailed on pens. Their fixtures aren't great, but yeah, to bench him again was that must have been painful for him.
yeah. So I calculated, right, well, what would the alternative be? That, and I think the difference was it was either Paqueta or Reinders. So it was like
Okay.
an 8 point swing.
Mm,
Um, and the there was another one, I think Paul Weasel was claiming one as well. Um, but then the ugly award this week had to go to myself because of the 20 point swing from those two 50-50 decisions, one on benching, which was 5 points, and the
yeah,
um,
captaincy.
Wood captaincy
Mm,
slash transfer. And again, they weren't separate decisions. I already decided, as I think I said
mm,
before, was I
yeah,
brought in João Pedro. It was definitely Bruno captain. I wasn't considering João Pedro for captaincy.
yeah,
Um, and my captaincy had been on Bruno all week.
yeah.
All week it had been on Bruno, and then I just changed it to Wood um, within the last
So
half
yeah,
an hour or hour of the deadline. So yeah, the ugly award goes to myself, FPL Affairs Magpie.
fingers crossed that your luck will turn, my friend.
Yeah, fingers crossed it needs it. So, how can you get in touch? Where can you find us? Our email address is lowercase fplaffairs@gmail.com. On X, our user handle is at FPL Facebook, the group link is in our description on the YouTube video channel. And alternatively, you could search the Facebook groups for FPL Affairs. We should pop straight up. Our YouTube channel is /at FPL Affairs, and the Spotify links are generally found at the bottom of the video. Or on Spotify, you could search up FPL Affairs. There may still be time to join our leagues if you haven't already. The Classic League code is 12RRCG, or the Classic code is lowercase I6NQNB. Unfortunately, the head-to-head league is now closed as the season has started. Righty, so thanks for
Are we
watching
doing a
this
part? Are we
video.
doing a? Sorry, mate. Are we doing a part two, or is that it?
Yeah, we'll do the part two thoughts,
Okay.
talking points of the week. So that'll be
Yeah.
everyone watching, that'll be released pretty much the same time as this.
Yeah.
So, any final thoughts about how the game week went in terms of team performance and points and um,
No, I would. I just think patience is the most important thing at this point. Like, it's so easy to activate those wild cards and jump on players that have had a good week last week and stuff. But honestly, just sit tight, stick to the plan, and
and
yeah,
and spoiler alert, that is actually one of this week's talking points.
is it
So all that's left to say about this video is keep your FPL affairs under wrapped until the deadline in best part of 2 weeks' time, since it's the international break, which I might take a break, but as I mentioned earlier, Weasel thinks we should do a deadline day transfers special.
reviews?
And
Yeah,
what we're going to do, we're going to see the how the which ones will make much of a difference with FPL, and yeah, the impact it is. So don't forget to
cool.
like and subscribe, and we shall see you shortly. Bye bye.